The Rhode Island Eviction Notice. What is an eviction notice? Eviction notice, or notice to quit, is a letter sent by the landlord to the tenant notifying them that they should either take or stop a certain action or vacate the rented premises. Eviction notice can be of two types. Conditional, when a tenant is given time to remedy the breach of the lease, or unconditional, when a landlord terminates the lease without any alternative options for a tenant. What should an eviction notice include? Information about the tenant and the landlord. The reason for sending the notice. The date by which the tenant should take or stop a certain action. The consequences of non-compliance. The date and way of notice delivery, and the landlord's signature in the form of certificate of service attached to the notice. How to evict a tenant in Rhode Island. Non-payment notice. According to the Rhode Island laws, the landlord should stick to a grace period of 15 days, which allows them to send the written notice to pay or quit only when rent is 15 days past due. The notice should give the tenant 5 days to pay rent or they have to leave the property. Non-compliance notice. If the tenant violates other terms of the lease, a 20-day notice to remedy the violation or quit should be given to them. However, if the tenant was involved in illegal activity, the landlord is not obliged to send any notices before terminating the contract. What if the tenant fails to comply? If the tenant fails to comply with the rules of the lease, the landlord can file a complaint with the Rhode Island District Court. The filing fee is $80 statewide. Then the tenant should get the complaint and summons prior to the hearing by a person authorized by court. If the eviction was caused by non-payment of rent, the tenant should be served with a notice 5 days before the hearing, but if it was caused by another reason, there is no specified notice period. The tenant in Rhode Island needs to file a written response with the court to be able to take part in the hearing. If there is a non-payment eviction, the answer can be filed anytime before or at the hearing. If there is another lease violation, the tenant has 20 days to respond. The tenant's failure to appear for the court hearing might result in a judgment in favor of the landlord by default. If the landlord wins the case, a writ of execution will be issued 6 days after the judgment. After the document is received by law enforcement officials, the tenant might need to move out immediately, as the Rhode Island law does not set a specific period on how quickly law enforcement officials must act on the writ of execution once it is received from the court.